Viewer discretion advised. This case is based on true events. November 1997. Montreal, Canada, a city divided by cold rivers and sharper loyalties. Scott Steinert was 33 years old, confident, street smart, and well-known to police. To some, he was a charming entrepreneur. To others, he was one of the most dangerous men in Quebec's criminal underworld. Steinert had been part of the notorious Hells Angels Nomads chapter, an elite inner circle at the heart of the Quebec biker wars of the 1990s. Those wars left over 160 people dead in turf battles for control of drug routes stretching from Montreal to the U.S. border along the St. Lawrence River. The river that linked nations also hid bodies and secrets. The disappearance. On November 4th, 1997, Scott Steinert vanished. He'd told associates he was heading to a meeting but never returned. At first, few were surprised. Members of his world disappeared all the time. Some went underground, others were found in ditches. But Steinert was different, powerful, connected, and careful. His absence sent a quiet shock through Montreal's criminal scene. For months, nothing surfaced. Then, in April 1999, nearly a year and a half later, fishermen spotted something floating near the Beauharnais section of the St. Lawrence Seaway. At first, they thought it was driftwood tangled in ice. When police arrived, they realized it was a human body, wrapped and bound. The currents had carried it from somewhere upriver. The discovery. The remains were identified through dental records as Scott Steinert. The autopsy revealed he'd been beaten and tortured before death. His skull had multiple fractures. His hands and ribs were broken. He hadn't drowned. He'd been killed first, then dumped into the river. Investigators traced the plastic wrapping to industrial suppliers in Montreal, often used in auto body shops and shipping yards. One detective later said, "It wasn't rage, it was a message." The investigation. Police believed Steinert had fallen victim to an internal purge within the Hells Angels. By 1997, tensions inside the organization had reached boiling point, old alliances shifting, power consolidating under rival leader Maurice Boucher. Steinert was rumored to be planning a breakaway group to challenge Boucher's control. That rumor was enough to sign his death warrant. Confidential sources later told police that Steinert was ambushed, held captive for hours, and interrogated before being executed. But those reports were never proven in court. No one was ever charged. The river. The St. Lawrence is vast, 744 miles of cold, moving water connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic. It's said that anything dropped into it can drift hundreds of miles before surfacing. Local officers still believe Steinert's body was meant never to be found. Only a shift in current during spring thaw brought him back. Legacy. The murder of Scott Steinert marked a turning point in the Quebec biker war. Within months, other high-ranking members disappeared or were arrested. The violence slowed, but the message was clear. Loyalty had a depth and a cost. Today, the St. Lawrence looks peaceful, cargo ships, moving silently past the same waters that once carried the body of a man who knew too much. And beneath those waters, investigators say, there are still names that never made it onto any official list. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow.